Hang on. People, I want you to take note. You notice how me and Colton didn't fucking try to kill each other after we just got done with the heated debate? Yeah, take note of that, motherfuckers.
Yeah, because he's going to die here once we get done.
This is my last recording.
Yeah, right.
If you're hearing this, I'm dead already.
I thought you were just about to say from a neo-Nazi, and I was like, don't. The sheriff department will put up like the days or the weeks mugshots. Bet you're going through that and there's a fucking picture. Why are you so mad about vegetables?
Well, let me tell you, they just sit in a wheelchair all day doing nothing.
So let's bring up, mark that for part 3. Let's bring up now something that we
Speaking
went to talk
of
about last week.
amendments.
Yes. Speaking of
Oh,
amendments.
I was gonna say that when we transitioned into talking about the Second Amendment, but then I was like, then we switched to completely different shit.
Yeah, but speaking of amendments, right?
Yes.
The 14th Amendment.
Yes, sir.
Birthright citizenship.
Yes. Question. How do you feel about it?
Well, let's first break it down. So for all the folks out there that don't know what birthright citizenship is. So birthright citizenship is basically if you are born within a U.S. territory, so either one of the 50 states, Guam, Puerto Rico, any of that stuff, right? A military base, you are an American citizen.
Yep.
Regardless of
Who your parents are.
right? If they're fucking Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, you're an American. As long as you're born on American soil, quote unquote, what is deemed American soil, you get an American citizenship. Now, like if you
Stamp
are
of approval,
right
Cool.
now, if you are two Canadians, right, and I think or if you're an American, but at the same time, right, if you have two American parents and you're born in Canada, you'll still get American citizenship because your parents are American, as long as they hold valid American citizenship, right? You will then be dual citizenship. But what we're talking about is just the whole, if you're born in America, you get American citizenship regardless of who your parents are.
Yep.
So the idea behind it is that you'll have a bunch, and obviously this is all related around the southern border. The idea is that Latinas or women, Hispanic women, will then come across the border, either pregnant or then get pregnant in America, have a child in America. So now they have an American U.S. born citizen child.
Yep.
Then the thinking is that the U.S. government won't deport me because then they're leaving my child behind because it's an American citizen or a U.S. citizen.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a loophole that's in place for sure. It's a loophole.
And it's been there for 250 years.
Not that long.
Or, yeah, it's like, what, 230...
Not even 200 years, dude. Not even 200. You gotta remember when the 14th Amendment was put in?
Oh, yeah, the 14th. Never mind. I'm thinking of, like, the start of the country.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
First of all, the country's not even 250 years old in the first place, but...
It's close, too.
It's close. Next year it will be.
Yeah, so, okay, don't fucking correct me on it. The fuck you talking about? We're 248 years old right now, and you're going to be like, well, actually...
But the 14th Amendment was put in after the Civil War.
Oh, what? Really?
Yes.
Damn. Oh, okay.
Yes, because I believe it was the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment were all post-Civil War amendments around basically... The whole point of them was around slavery.
Right. Yeah, so the whole thing was that we wanted to get rid of it for certain people.
Well, the 14th Amendment was obviously not, back then, illegal immigration was not really a thing, right? Back in the late 1800s, right? We only had like 25 states at that time or some shit anyway. So the current interpretation of the 14th Amendment, I believe, came in during the Lyndon B. Johnson administration about the illegal immigration, that if an illegal immigrant has a child in America, then that child is an American citizen. That's where that kind of, it's interpreted that way. You go first.
Well, okay, what do you...
Well, because you asked me what is your...
Yeah, what are your thoughts on it? I said.
Okay,
I asked you first, buddy. So you better stick your guns up and kill me. No, I'm playing. So go ahead. What or did you want to ask me a question?
No. So to me, I've already said it's definitely a loophole within the system.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, the whole intent is that if I have a US citizen as a child, they won't deport me because now they're splitting up. They can't deport a US citizen, right? It's not the child's fault that it was born in America, right? You can't fucking blame the child on that. I'm fine with the end to birthright citizenship. In that sense that if your parents are not American citizens, you do not get American citizenship automatically.
Okay.
Now, I know there's a lot more legalities around that. Like, okay, what if they're here on visa?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a school visa or something like that. But just because you have a visa doesn't mean you're an American citizen, though.
So, essentially, this country was created by immigrants.
Yes.
So the issue comes into play, and I'm going to take it to the extreme here. Because if we're going to talk about parents, if your parents are illegal immigrants, okay, what about grandparents? What about if we're having reparations for people whose great-great-great-great-great-grandparents were slavery, Jesus Christ.
We're not talking about slavery.
Right. But to make my point is what I'm going at.
Oh, you're going like totally to the extreme. Okay.
Yeah. So then that means that everybody's ancestors that came here over to America, that means everybody should lose birthright citizenship.
No. Because you got to remember, when the ships were coming across the Atlantic, they were all processed through Ellis Island.
Right.
So
but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the foundation of our country, correct? It was technically made by immigrants.
Right. But what I'm saying is a lot of those immigrants, when they came across during the 1800s or whatever on steamships, they were processed and then deemed American citizens through Ellis Island.
And I'm not talking about the 1800s. I'm talking about 1776.
The country was...
The fight for... The revolutionary fight, right? There was no such thing as an American citizen.
Right, because there was no such thing as an America.
Yeah.
So you had to have some basis point of like, okay, we're just going to deem us as American citizens. But they were American citizens. They became American citizens.
Right. Fairly easily.
Because that's just how the law was back then. These buttfucks that are hopping the fence or walking across a imaginary line in the sand, right, for lack of a better term, they're not legal. They're coming here illegally, so they are breaking the law.
Right.
They're here illegally. Now, if you believe that they should be legal or not, it's a different matter. But by how the law is written, they're here illegally. They are committing a crime.
So,
and then they have a child.
So it was okay for America back in history to deem the Native American people not Americans because, well, they weren't part of the country, except they were here first.
I didn't write the laws back then, dude. I'm just going by what the law says. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
But that's what I'm getting at is, you know, my family has Native American heritage, even though I don't look like it. The issue is that, you know, if you're going to take birthright citizenship because people were illegal immigrants when they had a child, or they weren't fully American citizens or whatever have you, then nobody should have birthright citizenship. Because, I was born to American people, but our lineage says that we come from fucking immigrants at some point in time. Like my great-grandpa I guess he came over from Germany when he was younger. And his parents were immigrants. Yeah, sure, they weren't here illegally. They got processed through Staten Island or Ellis Island or whatever.
Island.
And, became citizens that way.
Okay, so right there, your argument's now moot.
But it doesn't matter.
How does it not matter?
Because the issue is they came here as immigrants, right?
Right, but
whether it's legally or not, if they have a kid here, that kid now has birthright citizenship.
Right, through that interpretation of the 14th Amendment. But how you were saying, though, is that they were processed through Ellis Island and became U.S. citizens.
Yes, because it takes all it takes is, are you sick? No? Good. You're good to come in.
That's how it was back then, because we wanted people, right? We were a growing country. Now we've changed it. Now you have the people coming across, they're illegal immigrants. And then do they maybe want to become a U.S. citizen? Yes, but they're doing it the wrong way. We have a system in place to become to have U.S. citizenship.
And that's another issue. I don't think it should take 2 to 3 years for somebody to become a citizen of the United States.
We're not arguing the citizenship process, right? But there is a way to do it.
Yes.
Right? There is a legal way to do it.
Right.
Hopping the border, having a kid in America, to have an American child, to then gain citizenship that way, that's a problem, because now you did it illegally. You initially did it illegally.
Legally, yes.
You did it, but you did the whole process illegally. You didn't do it through the legal way of doing it. You could have gotten a regular visa, either a work visa or a school visa or a job, work, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? Vacation visa, right? And then, it happens all the time. You'll have people that come over from Europe, they'll go to American universities on a school visa, and they'll be like, hey, I kind of like it here. And so then they start the process of becoming an American citizen. Yes, does that take a long time? Yes, it does. I'm not arguing that. It does take a long time.
And it shouldn't, but that's besides the point.
That's not what we're arguing here. We're just arguing the birthright citizenship part.
Yeah,
But as long as you start the American citizenship thing, we're not going to deport you. As long as you start it legally.
I agree that we have an issue at the southern border, but the way we're going about it, like changing our amendments to the Constitution to fit, certain people's agendas, I don't see the point in that. It's been fine for the last 50 or 60 years. Why fix it? Why fix it? Yes, granted, it's an issue, and, we should take it a little more seriously than what a lot of the Democrats do. But at the same time, this isn't the way to go about it. Guess what? You want more people to come in here and be here legally? Make becoming a U.S. citizen easier, or having a fucking visa, getting a visa here easier. That's the issue, is that people are like, well, they just got to do it legally. Yeah, but it's hard as fuck to do it legally, because America is so pent up about, oh, well, you got a different skin tone, or you're from a different country. Yeah, you can't come in here for whatever fucking reason. For example, an Australian guy came here to play games for a YouTuber's fucking esports team. All he wanted was a visa, a work visa, or vacation visa. That's all he wanted. He kept getting denied for absolutely fucking no reason. They're like, hey, why are we getting denied? So we can fix this issue, because he has to be here by a certain time. Whatever visa we need to get, we'll get it. Whatever. They apply to that visa. They get denied by the same guy. So it's not just, let's end birthright citizenship, because... And, question, is it true that if a kid is born here and they become an American citizen, their parents are now American citizens?
No, they're not.
Oh, so then why are...
Wait, so hold on. So you're saying if a kid is born here by non-American citizens...
Yeah, do they become American citizens?
Do the parents become American citizens?
Yes.
No, they do not. Currently under...
So then what's the problem with birthright citizenship?
Because the idea... I've already said this multiple times. The idea is it's a loophole within the illegal immigration thing. They're not... If you create, right... The U.S. government is not going to split up families through deportation.
Yeah,
right?
they are.
That's
what they plan on doing right now.
So the idea behind it was, yeah, and also illegal immigration is way down since Trump took over. Funny, huh? The idea behind it is that if you have a child, you are an illegal immigrant, right? You have a child in the U.S. So now you have a U.S. citizen child.
Yeah.
The U.S. was not going to deport you because they can't deport the child because it's a U.S. citizen. So
now
they
don't need to deport the child. Throw it into foster care system. Oh, wait, that's broken too.
But at least the government's recognized that it's not great. So that's why they weren't doing that. And so it was a backdoor way to get U.S. citizenship versus all the people that were doing it legally through the legal channels and the years it took. All they had to do was just get fucking, knocked up in America, pop out a goddamn child, and then just wait till their court date, and then most likely they'll be granted U.S. citizenship right then and there.
I don't think that's how that works, but
it's a very much watered down version of how it was done. But that's the problem with it is you had that happening.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's no secret since Trump since Trump took over as president. Since the beginning of the year, illegal immigration is way fucking down. Way down.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of interactions with agents at the southern border is way down. So, to the 14th Amendment, it says Google AI is because I'm not going to actually read the fucking 14th Amendment. It's like some in like Shakespeare English and shit. I'll butcher the fuck out of it. The 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution.
It's like Twigs Day.
Twigs Day.
Tweez Day. That's what.
No, it's
Tweez Dag. It's Tweez Dag.
Tweez Dag. Tweez Bag. No. It says establish citizenship for all people born or naturalized in the United States, including formerly enslaved people. So all the people that were enslaved, they were granted U.S. citizenship.
In the jurisdiction thereof. That's the last part of it.
I was just reading the AI overview.
Yeah, no, but that's what it is in the district of whatever place they're at.
Right, yeah. So if they were in Alabama, they are now a citizen of Alabama. Correct. So,
and that's what people were interpreting as like, oh, well, if your parents are Mexicans, then you're a Mexican
as long as
citizen.
you're born in the U.S. That was what the interpretation was. As long as you are born in the U.S., regardless of who your parents are, you're an American citizen. Now, back in 1868, there wasn't really illegal immigration. There was, I'm sure, right? But not in the sense of what it is now, right? We still had very loose immigration laws back then. Very loose immigration laws.
My issue is that, we shouldn't have to change the Constitution if there's nothing wrong. I mean, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the Constitution because we've had multiple amendments of it and not a whole lot of it. But the issue is that there's no reason to change it. I don't think that just because you have a kid that's an American citizen, that they were going to be like, okay, I guess we got to grant you citizenship because your kid is here. Or, if they're like, because a lot of the problems is, people are trying to get away from Mexico because
it's not just Mexico that they're coming from.
Right. Not just Mexico, but a majority of them are coming from Mexico, right? And they're trying to escape that type of life where look at fucking Tijuana. There's a suburb in Tijuana that's just full of shacks, and barely that. Except they have a nice new Amazon building behind them after Amazon said they were going to help, restructure this place. But anyways, that's a whole different issue. So people are trying to get away from that. They don't have 2 to 3 years to wait. So if they come over illegally, right? Let's just say that they have a kid here. Sure, that can help you in the sense of, okay, then let's get citizenship rolling. But we're not just going to grant you citizenship because you could be a fucking criminal. And that's where I think people take it out of hand is like, you can have both options. You can say, you can't come in here because you're a criminal. And it's unfortunate you have a kid here, but if they're going to go to the foster system. Sorry, that's just how it works. Guess what? You want to fix the foster system? Then fix the damn foster system. That's the issue, is that people just, well, they're taking our jobs and stuff. I'm sorry, are you going to fucking pick up, their farming equipment and do their jobs for them? No? Shut the fuck up then. That's another issue I have. I've been seeing a bunch of shit about DEI and crap. Like, oh, we can't have trans people in the military anymore. Not saying that actually happened, but, people want that. Some people want that. And it's like, I'd like to see you pick up a gun and go fight. If we ever have a war. You're not going to because you don't want to. So let the people that do want to volunteer, volunteer. There's just a lot of issues I've had with, you can be tough and you can also be, a quiet tough. You don't have to be, where it's like, well, if you're here illegally, get the fuck out. Are you here illegally and you have a kid? Okay, are you a criminal? No? Sweet. Then let's get the ball rolling on citizenship. Let's give you a temporary visa so you can stay here legally, pay your taxes, do everything properly. Guess what? I know you came from a shitty situation. It's called being empathetic to other people. That's the big issue that I've had is with that certain type of stuff. Are we just gonna? I was like, are we gonna stay here in awkwardness? I'm kind of weird.
I see your point, but
yeah, don't. And that's the thing. I don't want people to misconstrue me saying that, we should allow illegal immigrants here. That's not what I'm saying. Yes, there is a problem. I have an issue with people coming over here with fucking kilos and kilos upon illicit drugs and then selling them to people. Because that's how U.S. citizens die, is because, well, this drug cartel came over and sold me fentanyl laced with some other bullshit, and I fucking died from an overdose.
Right.
That's a big issue. I wholeheartedly agree with cracking down on that shit. But when you have families over there that are just trying to better themselves and they only can do it illegally, it helps just to give a helping hand. It's not about, well, they're taking all of our resources and stuff like that. Guess what? If we provided them resources to not take our resources, then we wouldn't have an issue.
Okay, hold on. So let me give you this.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying if the only chance they have to better themselves,
yes,
is to come through here illegally, right?
Right. Let's just
Yeah. You just said that a minute ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What if the only chance for someone to be able to live is to steal food from the grocery store? Should we make that okay then?
Did I say that had to be okay?
Well, that's kind of what you're saying.
Let me give you an example. Hold on.
You're saying that it's
right.
the only way for
but you're only taking a part out of what I said. Right? If the only chance they have to come here is to come here illegally because they can't afford to go through customs or whatever, or they can't do whatever, however situation
to go through
they
customs
have, right?
is free, but okay, anyways.
Yeah, right. Anyways, by
that's
only
the same thing
the
as
only
my grocery,
means
that's the same thing as my grocery store argument. If
No,
they can't afford
'cause
groceries, then it should be okay if they can just steal them to live.
And I'll give you an example of that. Just give me a second. I said
1 second up.
I said to give out a helping hand if they come here illegally, right? That's all you got to do is show them a little bit of a helping hand. Like, hey, let's get the ball rolling on this. And with your grocery store interpretation, example, a homeless woman went to a Walgreens, stole a hat and gloves because she was cold. Yeah, it sucks that it's her fault that she's homeless, and a police officer did show up and was like, you got to return the stuff that you stole. But he didn't arrest her. You know what he did? Instead, look at that. He gave out a helping hand and was like, hey, I can't solve your homelessness issue, but I can help you be less cold. Let me buy the hat and gloves for you. It sucks because you're getting officially trespassed, but that's how you do. That's quiet tough right there. Or whatever. Tough love. I don't fucking know. But that's how it should be done. You got to be sympathetic to people that are here not because they want to be here illegally and stuff like that. Yeah, you got caught being here illegally. Guess what? Oh, you're not a criminal and, you came here to better yourself. Then let's get you the proper resources to be here legally. So you stop taking resources illegally. And it's the same thing with, if somebody can't afford groceries, why are you stealing them in the first place? Because I can't afford them. Why can't you afford them? Well, my job doesn't pay me enough for the work that I do. Oh, okay, have you tried to apply for food stamps? Have you tried this? Yeah, but I get denied. Well, why do you get denied? Have you gone to, the food bank down the street to get that? Oh, no, I didn't think about that. Well, here, let me give you the resource to tell you, hey, there's a food bank down the street that has, meals prepped up and stuff for you, or a box of food for you. And you can go there and get it for free. That's what I'm talking about, and it's not just birthright citizenship, it's with everything. People, granted, I'm not the richest guy in the world, right? I try to help out when I can. I try to help people out when I can. Whatever. The issue is that in the last 20 to 25 years or so being in America is that we've gotten so into ourselves that when something bad happens or some issues come up, we only think about what our situation is to that. We're not sympathetic to other people. And I'm not saying, you have to be sympathetic to every fucking person that comes in here. But, America is supposed to be the big brother of the world. Quote unquote. Help those that need it when they need it. Yeah, sure, some of it, I don't know how true it is or not. Some of it's been exposed for being, quite scummy or doing shit that they're not supposed to be doing. Guess what? That's every part of the fucking government. Every politician, it doesn't matter who they're from, where they came from, they're corrupt. I don't care. You will never not get a corrupt politician. But the least we can do is show a little decency and respect to people that need it. That deserve it, at least. Because it's the same thing with, food stamps. People take advantage of that shit all the time. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And, there's some people that actually do need it. And if there's a chance that, they get shorted out one month or whatever because some fucking dickhead down the road is like, oh, I got a brand new Camaro, so I need to fill it with gas. Right? Yeah, so that type of shit. It's just, I would like a stricter border control, whatever. Yes. I would want that. At the same time, we also need to be a little sympathetic to those that need sympathy, at least once in a while. It's not just, oh, well, we should let everybody in here. Absolutely fucking not. Don't do that shit. Do not do that shit, because that will cause a whole lot of problems that we don't need.
I think, well, you just said it right there. The proper way to totally ex-nay this argument of birthright citizenship is just to fix the illegal immigration, right? If we don't have the illegal immigration, well, I should say you're always going to have illegal immigration, right? That's just because
Right.
you have a like 2,000, like a God knows how, like 2,000, 2,500 mile long border with Mexico, whatever the fuck it is, right? You can't monitor it all the time, right?
Right.
But if you can put stuff in place, you can put policies in place that kind of tamp that down in the sense of if you come here and you are illegal, we will deport you. We're not going to put you up in fucking hotels. We're not going to give you $100 Visa cards every week so you can go buy food or whatever the fuck like they were doing during the Biden administration. We're not doing that shit, right? And like I said, magically, since the harder policies came in, illegal immigration has took a nosedive. Weird, isn't it? It's almost like people want free rides. But then that fixes this, kind of moots the point of the birthright citizenship argument because now it's not a problem. The only reason that this is even an argument is because in the last 4 years, again, that Biden was president, illegal immigration was out of fucking control. I mean, there was millions of people pouring into the U.S. illegally every year. And that's a fact. And you could just, that's just what the Border Patrol, that's through interactions. I think last year they had 1.5 million arrests. And that's just what we know of. What about all the gotaways that we don't know who are here? It's a lot of people in the last 4 years have come into the country. A lot of people. So fixing illegal immigration fixes this problem. Fixing illegal immigration fixes a lot of problems, actually, because this is just a small problem. But the main umbrella problem is the two I's, illegal immigration. Fix that, and you're going to fix everything underneath it. So, I hear you furiously typing away. What were you looking up?
Oh, I'm just looking up statistics.
Oh, I said I don't know what the exact number is because, well, we don't even know what the exact number is because, again, we only know the number that Border Patrol interacted with. We don't know how many they didn't interact with, right?
Right.
So it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that came into the country in the last 4 years. A lot of people. So
yeah, I like I said, I agree with, cracking down on it. I just don't think I just don't think putting people in or setting people to Guantanamo Bay or whatever's rumored that they're doing. I don't think that's the right answer to it. Or, having ICE go into churches, schools, and hospitals to get rid of or to deport illegal immigrants. Because that's certainly not the way to do it. That's a callback to World War II right there. Except, obviously, they're not targeting Jewish people, they're targeting legal immigrants. But that's my thing, is that, yes, there's completely an issue there. That there is huge issue that needs to be solved. But at the same time, I don't think being super overly aggressive and then pissing off people is going to be the way to do that. Like I said, tough love or whatever, get rid of the criminals. I don't give a fuck about them. If they're fucking here illegally and they're criminal, fucking get rid of them. I don't give a fuck.
I think.
But a majority, just because you have, I don't know, out of 1 million people, 1,000 of them are criminals. I should say 100,000 of them, 10%, are criminals. Doesn't mean all of them are criminals. I mean, technically, they technically are, but
you just said they were, though. So are they or are they not?
But I'm talking about people that are over here that are like part of the cartels and shit. If they come over,
part of gangs or yes,
yeah. Like a majority of people are going to be over here, and they're not here for criminal purposes. They're just, like I said, they're here to better themselves. Does that mean we got to have an open border to them? No, obviously. Regulate
no, because then you're going to let the criminals in. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's, like I said, now, even with a closed border, right, if Trump builds the wall, right, for all 2,000 miles, whatever the U.S. border is with Mexico, are the criminals still going to get through? Yes, because as we said before,
They're criminals.
they're criminals. They don't care. But it's making it a lot more difficult for them to get across. And you can at least slow it down because, I mean, it's not like when if he builds the wall, right? We're like, okay, we can pull all the CBP from the southern border. No, we might knock it down because we might not need whatever. Say, I'm just going to pull a number out of thin air, 25,000 agents down there, or whatever there is right now. We don't need that many down there, right? We can knock it down to maybe 15,000, right? Take 10,000 out, distribute them out amongst other places or whatever. You know, put them at the ports or entry so we can process people a little bit quicker rather than be there for, a long time. But then have the other 15, patrolling the open parts of Texas where there's nothing but fucking armadillos and sand and tumbleweeds and shit. Because with the wall, you're naturally going to slow down the flow. You're not going to get rid of it, so you still need agents there, but you're going to slow down you're plugging the leak with a pretty good plug.
Yeah.
So I think now the whole idea behind the birthright citizenship thing is, I think he knows that it's not going to be, it's probably not constitutional, right? Because
right.
Yes, the Constitution doesn't say anything about parents being illegal, but it also doesn't say anything about parents being legal citizens, so it's kind of an up for a determined interpretation thing. But I think this is just a bluff, kind of a negotiation bluff. Like, if you just put this in place, just to kind of put this scare tactic in place for people not to enter this country illegally.
Okay, question about bluff. Sorry, I just popped in my head. Do you think the tariffs are bluffs?
I think the tariffs have always been bluffs. Do I think he still might implement some tariffs? Yes. But to the same sense of what he was probably saying on a campaign trail, no, because I truly believe it was all bluffs. And it's funny how he was going to put in tariffs on Mexico and Canada, and then 12 hours before they were supposed to take into effect, they conceded a bunch of concessions. Weird, isn't that? I think they
delayed it, but
they paused it for a little bit, but
a month.
No, it was like 45 days. It was a month and a half.
I don't know why Canada and Mexico just doesn't let it happen.
Because it will hurt them economically. That's why.
Barely.
No, it will hurt them economically. Trust me, it will hurt them economically because
it'll hurt us more.
In the sense of that we would be paying more, yes. But if you have, but the reason it will hurt them economically, okay, say you have a widget made in Mexico, right? Whatever that widget is, right? That same widget's made in the U.S., but that widget in the U.S., because obviously we actually pay living wages, right? Is the Mexico widget's $1. Okay, the U.S. widget's $1.25. Most people are going to buy the one from Mexico because it's 25 cents cheaper, right?
Yeah.
But if you add a 25% tariff on Mexico imports or imports from Mexico, now that widget for Mexico is $1.25. Now it's comparable with the American one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then and now people might be like, they'll look at it and they might not just they won't even bother, right? They'll just, yep, this is what I need. They won't bother at price because they're the same.
Yeah.
And so then the sales for the Mexico one will go down.
Okay, and
so that's why I'm saying that's where it will hurt them economically because they will sell less product.
Right. And okay, let's talk about manufacturers that don't have manufacturing in the United States and they go through like Mexico or whoever, such as Ford. Except for the Bronco. The Bronco, I believe, is the only vehicle that they make here in Michigan.
Are you stupid?
No.
The Ford Mustang's made in Detroit. The F-150's still made in Detroit. The Super Duties are made in Kansas. I'm sorry, not Kansas. Are made in Kentucky.
They're assembled. Yeah, they're assembled here. But their parts come from Mexico.
Not all the parts, though. Yes, some parts.
Yeah, I didn't say all the parts. Yeah, I'm talking about a majority of the car comes from Mexico. Now, hold on, I'm not done yet. I would not say
a majority.
I would. The Bronco fucking Sport has so many problems with it because all of the parts come
in Mexico, I believe.
No, the parts are made in Mexico.
No,
They're
the Bronco
assembled
Sport
here.
is assembled in Mexico, I believe. Or no, the Bronco is. The regular Bronco is.
No, the Bronco is made homegrown in Michigan. It's made and assembled here in Michigan. The Bronco Sport is not. The Bronco Sport's parts are from Mexico.
Okay, no, I was right. The Bronco Sport is assembled in Mexico.
Okay, either way, right? It's not here in America. And, you have the, tariffs that come in. Oh, well, you got your parts and stuff from Mexico. Let's add a tariff onto it. Cool, that's great and all. But what if somebody wants that Bronco Sport? Not if they have to pay extra because, well, Ford has to make that money up somehow because it's Ford that's paying the tariff, not Mexico. Because they're buying the parts from Mexico. And Mexico's like, oh, well, we got a tariff on it, so you got to pay that. Well, fuck, all right, cool. We got to push it back onto the customer because we have to make our money somehow.
Right, but in that sense, then Ford might produce more of the parts or have more of the parts produced in the U.S. That's the point of the tariffs. And I think a lot of people are missing
And it'll
that.
still be expensive as fuck because it was made here in America.
Yes, however, you're helping more Americans, and it will actually help everyone.
Mm-hmm.
If you have more people in America to spend money, that helps the economy. Right? There's no argument there, correct?
Question. How are we going to spend more money if we have the same shit wages? That's my issue.
No,
is
stop looking at this with a Democrat scope, would you, for 5 seconds?
I'm thinking about it business-wise.
No, I understand that, okay? Yes, will tariffs make things inherently more expensive?
Mm-hmm. As Trump said, Americans are going to have to suffer for a little bit.
Yes, that's without a fact, right? It's a tax.
After he said he was going to bring prices down. That's my issue.
But your issue is a politician lied. Get in line, dude. Get in line. Get in line.
No, he built his campaign on lowering the economic stress on Americans. And yet, because we have we're going to have tariffs soon.
Dylan, what do you spend most of your money on?
What do you mean?
What do you spend most of your money that you make on?
Fucking bills? What are you talking about?
But like, what are those bills including? They don't include new cars, do they?
Well, no, obviously
no. They
not.
include a box of Kraft mac and cheese. I don't think a box of Kraft mac and cheese is made in Mexico, isn't it?
Well, obviously not.
No, I don't think a gallon of gas is made in Mexico, is it? No,
but
gas comes from a refinery in Gary, Indiana.
Okay, well, question for you. So China just going to implement a 10% tariff on the United States, right, for exports coming out of China, and that includes.
Wait! China just implemented a 10% tariff on exports coming out of China.
Or, sorry, whatever.
You mean the U.S. implemented a tariff on China?
No, China implemented a tariff on them. So if they want shit from China, they have to pay an extra 10% or whatever it is.
What?
Yeah.
So China's taxing themselves.
No, China's taxing America for using their exports. So stuff that we buy from China.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Stuff that we buy from China, such as farming equipment or
I thought you were saying
petrol.
China. I thought you were saying China was putting a 10%.
No, but they would do something like that, huh?
I'm like, so they're putting in a sales tax?
Hey, that one dude that's listening in China is like, what the fuck, man?
That's why I was confused.
No,
I'm
but
like, so they put in a sales tax?
No, but another issue is that if the U.S. is getting charged 10% on certain things that we need, such as petrol or whatever we use it for, oil, or farming equipment or whatever, that's inherently going to cause gas prices to go up, cause the food industry to go up, because the farmers have to buy this equipment. And yeah, it's cheaply made in China, but China's like, hey, you got a 10%, you have to pay for it. And the thing with tariffs is that nobody wins with them. Nobody fucking wins with it. It just destroys the economy.
Yes and no.
Yeah, we'll say yes and no. Certain tariffs, sure.
There's no short-term win.
Yes.
With
I don't
tariff.
think there's a long-term win either.
No, the long-term win is that for instance, okay, Chinese electric cars, and this was put in by the Biden administration, so don't fucking get on Trump on this one. There is a 100% tariff on Chinese electric-made vehicles from Chinese companies, I should say, right? And that's to keep
Chinese companies are making. I didn't even know fucking China had car companies.
That's kind of the point. Is yes, they have car companies. I don't know what the names of them are because they're fucking weird and shit. But there are many.
What the fuck? Yeah, I've never heard any of these.
Yeah, exactly. Because they are only in China. You don't see them in the U.S. because there's such a high tariff on them. It keeps them out of the U.S.
I think that was kind of the point.
That's the point of. That's what I'm saying. That's what the point of it is. Though, is to keep them out of the U.S. Right?
Yeah.
And so that doesn't hurt the U.S. in the sense of you could argue it's like, oh, there's less choice. Yeah, sure, but come on, really?
Yeah, sure.
There's so many other options for vehicles, right? It's not like the only choice is fucking Tesla. No, there's other options for electric vehicles. There's other choices. So that's the point of that tariff, is to keep that shit out of because we don't want to give. And the point of that is, and the main point of it is because those electric car companies, guess who's bankrolling them? The Chinese government the Chinese Communist Party. That's the whole point. It's to keep them out of the U.S. And so, yes, dude.
Well, you're not allowing competition. Suck my dick.
And so, yes, do tariffs inherently going to make Americans pay a little bit more for some stuff? Yes, because
that little bit more is the difference.
It's a 10% tax or whatever people. What
I think it's 10%. I don't know what.
Whatever. We're just saying. Let's just say 10%. It's a 10% tariff on it. But on most of the stuff that Americans are bitching about, price wise, it's not really going to affect them or affect that price, right?
Mm-hmm.
New cars are already expensive as hell. Right.
Unfortunately.
Most people can't afford a new car anyways. And so really, if you add 10% to that new car price, it's actually probably going to help because you'll have people that think they can afford an $80,000 vehicle, but they really can't. And so now you're making that $80,000 vehicle $88,000. And so now they know for sure they can't afford it. So it's actually helping them in the long run. I know that's a very, very specific point, but trust me, there are people like that out there. But when it comes to the basic things to live, that's where Americans are bitching. The price of gas, it's come down. It's still in the 3s. I prefer it to see down in like the low to mid 2s. I think that's where a happy medium is.
And I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it can happen. It will come back down to that point. It could. The price of, well, not just gas. We'll just say the price of energy overall. I mean, you can ask my dad. In the last 3 years, his electric bills became fucking ridiculous during the summertime, right? Because consumers' rates have been basically raised every single year because we need green energy. How about we just have fucking cheap energy? How about that, asshole? And the simple price for, I was going to say eggs, but that has nothing to do with tariffs right now. That's because of a bird flu or some bullshit right now. But it's like,
that's fucking crazy what they have to do. If a chicken, right? Because that's where we get our eggs from.
Thanks for breaking that down, Dylan.
No problem. If one chicken gets it, they have to kill the entire flock.
Yeah, because they don't know how many have.
I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, and then unfortunately,
no wonder why eggs are $10 a fucking dozen.
You know what I find weird though? Eggs are expensive, but the price of chicken hasn't gone up.
Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? I noticed that. I'm like, why aren't we running out of chicken though?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's fake. No. You know damn well somebody's gonna listen to that and be like, I fucking knew it. I knew chicken was fake all along.
No, I mean, technically, you could sell chicken that still has bird flu in it because you need.
Oh, it does get cooked out of it, doesn't it?
It gets cooked out of it. Okay. So yes, in theory, you could still sell it. Is it morally right? I don't know, but
yeah, you don't want to sell my mayo or anything like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
And really, chicken's one of those meats where it's like you make sure it's cooked all the way through. You don't eat raw.
If that shit ain't dry, it ain't cooked.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hogging a loogie right now.
Holy shit. Well, we can do that. We can talk more tariffs when stuff comes out about that, because I feel like we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff that the Trump administration does, for better or for worse.
Well, I mean, I could sit here and talk about what the Biden administration did or
didn't do.
Really did.
Mostly didn't do. Well, and I think that's where a lot of people are getting upset with Trump, is that he's basically undoing a lot of the shit that the Biden administration did.
Well, I don't want to get too far into it.
He didn't do.
I don't want to get too far into it. There's just a lot of issues I take with how Trump is doing it. Like, you know, if you bring up a list of Project 2025, Trump is doing that. And I can tell you 2 facts on there was pretty much, well, we were just talking about culling a flock, culling the CIA and FBI.
Calling a flock?
Culling.
Oh,
Not calling.
Okay.
Not calling.
Culling.
It's
okay.
culling. C-U-L-L-I.
Yeah, okay.
But, they offered mass payoffs to FBI and CIA agents.
Not just them.
I know not just them, but
it was the whole government overall.
I know that, but that you're just making my point is what I'm saying is that in Project 2025, that was one of the things that was one of the things on there. What the fuck is that?
What, smaller government?
No. Taking these people, what do you think they're going to do? They can't just get rid of the CIA and FBI, right?
They're not going to get rid of the CIA.
Yeah, they're not going to.
FBI.
But if you pretty much offer buyouts to everybody that's in there, who are you going to replace it with?
To my knowledge, I don't think they offered. Got offered buyouts.
They did. I believe they're currently suing, if not.
Okay, so the last one I have CIA. I don't have anything about the FBI. I only have CIA.
Oh,
and maybe that includes the FBI, but to me, I don't have a problem with the buyout thing, because it depends on who you give the buyout to, right? Like, if you offer it to the whole.
But that's the thing. Who are you going to replace them with?
Right, but in theory, it's like how many people are actually going to take the buyout? Okay.
I mean, if it's a decent amount, and
the buyout is you get paid up through September, and then that's it.
There's just a lot of issues I'd like to bring up, but I'm not going to, because we're fucking already running long, and I don't want to turn this into a political podcast, because that's not what this place is.
Okay,
it's a place of safety. No, I'm fucking playing. We call each other fat all the time.
So just for reference, right? So the buyout that Trump put in for the whole U.S. government, that the period of when you could either accept the buyout has passed, right?
It has it?
Yeah, it's passed.
Oh, okay.
It passed a week ago, I think, right? So you had until, like, let's say February 10th to make your decision of accepting the buyout or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the federal government, right? And it was not offered to the entire federal government. Like, for instance, like air traffic controllers, which we're going to talk about in a minute, kind of, were not offered the buyout. People within public safety, FBI, were not offered the buyout. So, but let's just say, for instance, right, the federal government employed over 3 million people. Okay, that doesn't even include active duty military, which is 1.3 million. You want to know how many people took the buyout, Dylan?
How many?
75,000. That's like 0.25%, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think it's going to be a problem if even 1% of, let's just say it's even 1%. If 1% of the CIA took the buyout, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. So,
yeah.
it's like I said, there's a lot of people that didn't take the buyout, and most people that took the buyout is because they put in place that all federal workers had to return to work 5 days a week. And a lot of people were like, well, I can't fuck off at home because then you could see them fucking off. And so they got all their panties in a wad, so that's why a lot of them took the buyout. That's why the buyout was offered in the first place, is because of the whole return to work thing. So I don't have a problem with it because I think employing 3 million people within the government is a lot for as little as it does. So, but, yeah, that could be for another time. We're already on to 3 hours. I think we're going to be pushing for the longest episode. I don't know what the longest episode is, but we might be getting there.
3 hours and 15 minutes, I think it is.
Okay, well, we're probably going to reach that. So,
yeah,
but we'll get one step closer to finishing this off with porn star birthdays. And I gotta say,
are these boneristic?
Maybe after 4 hours.
The slow door creak.
Maybe after 4 hours, boneristic. Our first thoughty on the list we want to wish happy birthday to is Angel Gostusta. I don't know. 22 years old. She was born on Valentine's Day in 2003. A Brazilian from Rio de Janeiro. She started in porn at the age of 18 in 2021. With 32 Bs on her 5'3" stature, you can shoot your own Cupid arrow to her over 125 credited films, like Coding Angel's Pink Box. She also stars in Full of Milk. Making Her Vibrate.
Yeah, boy.
And Wet and Fishnets.
I fucking love that meme. Yeah, boy.
So happy birthday to Angel, name as it's spelled. Next thought on the list is Foxy Alyssa, 23 years old, be born on February 15th, 2002. A Ukrainian from Kiev, Ukraine. She was 19 when she started her porn career in 2021, standing at 5'7" with 34 Bs. You can apply homemade lip balm to her currently 69 credited films, such as Bubble Trouble. She also stars in Naughty Princesses, Delicious Scent.
Oh, what the fuck?
And you can catch her in Naked Yoga 1, 2, 3, and 4. So happy birthday to Foxy Alyssa.
I didn't like that one.
What, Delicious
Delicious
Scent?
Scent? That's some fucking creepy shit right there. You have a delicious scent.
It's so good.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit, dude.
And finally, we're going to wish a happy birthday to Kendra Lynn, 31 years old. She was born on February 21st, 1994. An American from Indiana, the Hoosier State. Let's see. Okay. She began her porn career in 2014 at the age of 20 years old. Standing at 5'4" with 36 Bs, you can ruin some socks to her over 150 credited films, such as Janitor in the Tub.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay.
She's also in Qualities of a Skeet Queen. You can also catch her in Juice Cleanse, Sniff and Piss.
What? What the fuck is that?
And she also stars in Young Harry Muff's Jungle Between the Legs.
Welcome to the jungle.
Oh, shit. So happy birthday to those women. Delicious scent. Good Lord. All right,
hey,
Dylan.
people, hang on. People, I want you to take note. You notice how me and Colton didn't fucking try to kill each other after we just got done with the heated debate? Yeah, take note of that, motherfuckers.
Yeah, because he's going to die here once we get done.
This is my last recording.
Yeah, right.
If you're hearing this, I'm dead already.
So, all right, Dylan, who is your... Because I have two folks related to the week. Well, you probably have just the one, right?
Yeah. I can.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do. I'll do my first one, and then we'll do yours, and then we'll do my second one.
Okay.
So, and of course, my dumbass forgot to open the fucking news article because I'm stupid. So, all right, let's let me do this because it's probably. Oh shit! No. All right. So no secret that a big thing that's going around as of late is politically correct stuff, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the old joke, you can't say human because it has the word man in it, or you got to call them by their pronouns, this, that, whatever. You can't misgender someone. We got to change words because they might seem sexist in nature or whatever like that, right?
Or because there's a colored woman on a box of whatever.
We got to change it, even though it had nothing to do with a black woman to begin with, nothing racist about it, but we had to get rid of Aunt Jemima.
Fuckers.
Seems racist to me. We got rid of all the black people. Just like how we had to take the Indian off the box of Land O'Lakes. Yep, true America. Got rid of the Indian but kept the land.
That's so fucked. Oh shit.
Truly American right there, isn't it?
Got rid of the Indian, kept the land. Fuck, dude. Holy shit. Yeah.
So, a Democratic, because who else, lawmaker in the House, I believe, of Representatives, said that she had an explanation as to why there were fewer women involved in a certain line of work in the U.S. economy, right?
Okay.
And she believed that that was manufacturing. Now, it is true that manufacturing is male dominated, right? There are certain aspects of jobs out there that are
I already want to disprove this.
that are dominated
the
by
lady, not you.
Yeah, that are dominated by one sex or the other. Like, hospitality tends to be dominated by females. Flying, for instance, like pilots, still tends to be dominated by males.
Well, that's because in hospitality, you'd rather see a nice looking lady rather than, I don't know, let's say Colton.
Right, but also trust me, I would too. But also too, women they tend to
they're more nice.
They tend to be acting more nice than a guy. It just kind of, is it right or wrong? I don't know. Depends on how you want to look at it.
I could care less. If you got a job, who cares?
Yeah, but a Democratic lawmaker in the House said the reason why fewer women were involved in manufacturing could be because the term has the word man in it.
Absolutely fucking not. Let me tell you why, okay?
Dead ass serious. So she said yesterday I met with a manufacturing company, but they were also engaged in getting young people more engaged in manufacturing. Representative Jan Schakowsky, a Democrat from Illinois. That was Dan Schakowsky, by the way, who said Jan Schakowsky that said that from Illinois. Jan Schakowsky. During a Commerce, Manufacturing, and Trade subcommittee hearing entitled AI in Manufacturing, Securing American Leadership in Manufacturing, the Next Generation of Technologies. Basically, how to have AI help manufacturing, right? She continued by saying she thinks that fewer women are involved in manufacturing because the word itself sounds too male, too masculine.
Oh my God.
So she asked them how many of these students, the young students that are signing up to be in manufacturing jobs, how many of them are women, and she was told that it was at least 13%, which is a pretty low number, let's be honest, right?
She's not asking the right question.
No, she's not.
She's got to be asking, how many men are joining this because the word manufacturing has man in it?
Yeah, she's going about this all wrong, right? According to a 2022 report from the U.S. Department of Commerce, women make up 40% of the American workforce, but only 30% work in what is considered manufacturing. This is, and see, like I came up with the second one that's probably even better than this, but I couldn't get rid of this because this is the dumbest shit I think I have ever seen in my life. The women are in manufacturing because it has the word man. Are we for real right now? Are we for real?
Jesus Christ.
That's where we're at. We can only take a job by what sex is listed in the job title.
That's pretty sexist if you ask me.
Yeah, what the hell?
This is bullshit. I'm going to riot.
So you can't be a police officer unless you're slightly off, I guess.
Can't be a nurse unless you're not a human. Because what the fuck's a nurse?
That sucked. Just going to say that right now. That was a big fat.
I don't give a fuck. I mean, dude, it's stupid. That's the whole thing. That's the whole fucking thing.
Well, it's dumb. Like, and like, why
you can't be a police officer unless you're a little off? Get the fuck out of here.
It was better than your fucking nurse one. I'm still trying to pick up the pieces from that one. But it's like, why does it matter what gender dominates a certain sector or not? Is the job getting done? Yes. Is it getting done? Is it getting done properly and efficiently and at a generally low cost? Yes. Then what's the problem?
She's just pissed because dishwasher has her in it.
Oh, that one was good.
But anyways, to go back to the fucking manufacturing shit, I'll tell you right now, it's as simple. I shit you not, okay? Where I work, you know, working with transmissions, you're working with dirty shit. If you're tearing down or whatever, I asked Brianna, hey, would you ever want to work with me at where I work? And she's like, no, it's too dirty there. Guarantee you that's probably 90% of why women don't work in manufacturing.
Yeah, it's and also it's
because it's just dirty.
Well, and also too, it's physical. Not saying that women are lazy, but picking up large and heavy objects is a lot easier for a guy than a woman because, well, biology says so. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
So it's just,
well, like nowadays you have like hoists and stuff to help you, but
right, but still moving things around and stuff like that.
Also, here's a compliment to the ladies. In certain types of manufacturing, mine for example, you have to be a certain level of stupid to do shit. Okay, all right, and I will say this: women are more known to, be a lot more smart than men. Because men are, simple, dull creatures.
Well, at least women,
including myself. All right.
At least women like to think that they're smarter than men.
Like, there's certain women out there, But anyways, so I mean, like, take for example, Colton, when we were in our construction class, did we do dumb shit?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. You think you're gonna catch any women doing that? Doing what we did?
No, I saw. Well, there was only a couple girls who were actually in our construction class. But prime example there, construction. We had both years. There was only. Did we have a girl in the class our second year?
Yep, she was the first year, I think.
Okay, so then overall, out of that, there was only 3 girls ever in our class.
Really? There was only 3
for both years. Yeah, there was only 3. There was 3. Pretty sure there was 3. No, maybe there was only 2. No, there was 3.
Yeah, because it was the first, second year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I only knew.
I thought there was one in our first year. Or I thought there was one that was a first year when we were a first year.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So there was 3, but overall there was probably 30 of us.
Oh yeah.
In both years, so out of 60 people, only 3 of them were female.
That's what 2.
That's not even. That's a 0.5% because 1% would be, or 10% would be 6, so it's 5%. So it's only 5. It's just construction is one of those that it's just dominated by males. But if you look at the other side of it, teaching
up here. Let me ask her.
Teaching is generally dominated by females. So it's just.
Yeah, we're almost done. We're just going through our functional idiots right now. But a question for you. Was there... Don't say the company name. Was there a reason why you didn't join my company?
Your work?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
No offense, 'cause
Well, she just wanted to get away from you for a little while.
dirty as shit there.
Huh?
It's dirty as shit there.
It's dirty as shit
And
there.
I have OCD so bad that I would literally wash my hands every 5 fucking minutes.
It's dirty as shit there, and
Yeah.
she would just wash her hands every, 3 seconds.
I mean, don't get me wrong. One thing I cannot stand is dirty hands. But if it was my job, I definitely would have learned to live with it. But it's funny how the woman thing only ever comes up when it comes to office jobs where there's AC and no physical labor.
And for me as a
You know.
translator,
But when it comes to
Labeler?
working, labeler,
What's a
yeah,
labeler?
I don't know. It's things it's how you label stuff. You stupid ass. Come on. But
That's
when
a labeler.
that's what I said.
You
Labeler.
said labeler.
Labeler.
No, he said labeler.
Labeler. Yeah.
Labeler?
Labeler.
I couldn't even do his.
Yeah. Just like the Michigan accent. I just dropped the unneeded syllable.
I would lose my fucking mind.
But I don't know. It's just funny how, you know, women aren't in this job because it has the word man in it. Guess what's in the word woman? Uh-oh.
You're going to be woes.
So, all right, Dylan, who is your functional idiot of the week?
So this week I'm bringing up President Trump. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. No, it's a lot funnier than that. Some fucking restart in Richmond, Indiana.
Restart.
Decided to be a good idea to put fireworks in the dryer. And unfortunately, he survived.
Oh fuck! See, like I
so
like when people do stupid shit like that because it's just funny. Like, how could you have thought that was a good idea? But at the same time, it's like, fuck, he's still in the gene pool.
Yeah. So he, I saw him on New York Post, and it says, "Do not dry this at home. Get out of here." But he threw a firework into the dryer and put his feet up against it to hold it shut. And then it blew up. He broke his ankle, needed stitches in his lip and tongue.
Maybe he should have kept it. Maybe if he would have kept it closed with his head, he would have done better.
I was going to say, if he put his back up against it.
Yeah, come on, man. Fucking amateur hour here.
So, yeah, that's the guy.
Put fireworks in it. Why? Well, it was dry. It was wet. I wanted to dry him out.
I wanted to do it. No, he lit the firework and then threw it in there.
Okay. I thought he said.
Yeah, so it's even dumber than what you think.
Even dumber. Like if he would have said
purposely
they
did
were
it.
wet and I wanted to dry him out, I'd be like, all right, I kind of see your logic here, but there's one major flaw in it. But
no, he lit it and then threw it in there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sure alcohol and marijuana and weed had nothing to do with that. All right, my psychofunctional idiot of the week. Okay, so obviously, big thing that's in the old news as of late
hey guys, is my ankle supposed to look like a slinky?
But obviously, a big thing that's in the news as of late is those big metal tubes that are falling out of the sky, right, and crashing.
Yeah, at a rapid rate for whatever reason.
Yeah, which is funny because actually, it's actually happening at no faster than it was during the first month of the Biden administration. But of course, you won't hear that anywhere. But I love how all these people, right? So, we just got done talking about buyouts and also firings within. We didn't really bring up the firings, but there was some firings within the U.S. government, right? And some of that was within the FAA. Now, obviously the FAA has a lot of responsibilities, right? They are the ones who run air traffic control. They're the ones that will approve anything that's not made by Boeing right now for flight and stuff like that. So they got a lot of responsibilities. And the first one of the first plane crash happened a week after Trump was inaugurated. He was only in office for a week when that first one that got hit by the military helicopter, which by all accounts right now, the military helicopter was in the wrong, right? It was not. It's the one that flew into the fucking commercial airliner. So don't know how the commercial airliner could be at fault here. It's definitely the military helicopter.
Yeah, a helicopter's a lot more maneuverable than a fucking, I don't know, however much they weigh, fucking airliner.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, but then you had the one in Philly that crashed, and then now it's kind of like the whole thing. Everybody's like, why are planes crashing so often? It's the news cycle, right? So you remember when that train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, right? And it released a whole bunch of toxic gas, right? And then after that, every time there was a train derailment, it was on the news for 2-3 months, right?
Yeah. And
you look at it like me, well, of course, there's 1,200 train derailments every year on average. That's a fact. You can look that up at the FRA. There's 1,200 of them a year or so. But a lot of them happen in yards at low speed, so it's not a big deal, right? One car will derail, but it's still considered a derailment. It's just what's hot in the news cycle right now. This will come and go, but planes are not crashing at any faster rate than they were last year. Now, obviously, there's a higher death toll because 67 of them got taken out in one swoop, right? Kind of hard to fucking top that figure. But at the actual rate that they're crashing, it's no faster than it was during the first month of the Biden administration. And so my functional idiot is all these nimrods out here that somehow think, and this came to a head when the one in the Delta flight in Toronto flipped upside down, right?
Okay.
And they were all saying how it was Trump's fault that that plane crashed. I'm sorry. How is a plane crashing in another country Donald Trump's fault? Please explain that to me.
Well, he was the one. He was the one flying the plane, obviously.
Yeah, oh yeah, obviously. You know, he went. Yeah, he was remote controlling it, and then he got a fucking phone call from Putin or whatever, so he had to put the bitch on pause. Or no, his Xbox batteries died. That's what happened. His controller batteries died. But it's like, how is that his fault? Like, please explain this to me. The only thing that was American about it is that it was it started in America, and it happened to be an American company that crashed. It was Delta, who was an American company.
Listen,
how is this his fault?
I get it. You know, people don't like Trump. I don't like Trump. I didn't like Biden either, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, Trump was flying that plane.
Yeah, he's sitting there at the fucking edge of the runway with the fucking rocket launcher and shooting shit down. Like,
it's a magical pony flying through the
sky,
take it down.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that is out of Trump's control.
Yeah, and it's just funny, you know. And they say that it's his fault because we fired a bunch of people from the FAA, and it's like the CEO of Delta went on, like, I think Good Morning America or something like that, and
that's like when you were talking about skill building, Colton.
Skill building.
Yeah, certain people doing skill building in school.
Oh yeah.
Inside joke. We're not gonna
inside joke.
one.
Okay, so he went on there and they tried to say how the firings within the FAA were the reason why. He's like, there's 50,000 people employed by the FAA, and to my knowledge, only 300 of them got fired.
Yeah, that's not gonna make a difference.
You come on, like, so it's just dumb. So yeah, it's like
wonderful.
And then my biggest problem is you have people like a lot of high up Democrats, you know, like Chuck Schumer and stuff like that, saying that there will be more plane crashes under Trump. And it's like, why are you instilling the fear inside of people about flying?
I mean,
like air travel
I've
is
always
the
been
safest.
skeptical. I've always been skeptical of flying, but there could be fucking 400 crashes or 100 crashes. It don't matter. I'm still going to be the same amount of skeptical.
Right. But it's like, but what I'm saying is that, okay, you can't deny that if you go by the amount of miles that are done per passenger, air travel is the safest form of transportation.
Yeah.
Right. You can't argue that. That is fact. But there are a lot of people that are afraid to fly. And you saying that stuff is not helping them. That's not fair for them because they might be now, like me, I'm not a big fan I don't like flying. And I know it's an irrational fear because I know the chances of me getting onto an airplane and it crashing and me dying are so astronomically low that that's why it's called an irrational fear.
Question. Would you be first to win the lottery or have a plane crash?
What do I think would happen first?
Yeah, the chances of it.
You see, the problem is that I think to do that, you have to
win the lottery and be in a plane crash.
Yes, exactly. No, for that to happen, you would have to fly like every single day and play the lottery every single day.
Yeah, well, there's like 1 in 300 million chances.
To win the Mega Millions, I think is 1 in 302 million.
And what are the chances of having a plane crash?
Being in a plane crash. The odds of you being in a plane crash they're estimated to be 1 in 11 million. So yes, there is odds. The odds are better that you're going to be in a fatal plane crash than winning the lottery.
You have to buy 300 million tickets in order to win the lottery once.
In theory, yes.
In theory. And in theory, you have to fly 11 million. Who's flying 11 million times, though?
Right. So, like this
Christ.
says right now, a study at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology found the risk of a fatality from commercial air travel to be around 1 per 13.7 million passenger boardings. So, and that's worldwide. And obviously, the one that crashed in flying into Reagan was the first time, I believe, a commercial airliner crashed since like 2010. So, it had been a while since we'd had one gone down in the U.S.
Yeah.
So, it's just, it's dumb. And then even if you even just go by what's considered a plane crash, like that's a fatal plane crash. The odds of you being in a regular plane crash, which could just be considered you sliding off the runway or something like that, or like what's been happening a couple times of when two planes collide at an airport at low speed, considered a plane crash, right? That's 1.12 million, but your odds of surviving that are 95.7%. So it's an irrational fear because the odds of it happening are you have way better odds of getting into a fatal car accident going to the airport than actually dying in a car crash.
A plane crash.
I'm sorry, yes, a plane crash. So it's an irrational fear, but then
Just talked about having a fatal car accident.
Yeah,
you
but
have
then-
better chance of getting into a fatal car accident.
yes, but instilling the fear mongering amongst the people just because
Yeah.
Trump is president, that's not right. That is not right. And I get you're doing it just to buy votes, but it's like, come on, man. That's not.
I
cool.
think
is not
any
cool.
type of fear mongering whatsoever on either side shouldn't be done.
No, but it shouldn't. But unfortunately, it gets done by the Democrats more than the Republicans. Not saying the Republicans don't do it, but let's be fair, the Democrats do it a lot more. Case in point, whatever that bitch's name, AOC from 2018. The world's gonna end in 12 years. Well, we're 7 years into it, and it looks like we're still doing okay. So I don't know what your fucking problem is. But it's like, come on. I don't know how a plane crashing in Toronto, Canada, is Trump's fault. Okay, though. If you say so. But all right, that's all we have for this episode of the Functional Idiots podcast. That's gonna be chopped up into 3 whole parts, and this is now the title for the new longest. We're gonna be at like 3 hours and 28 minutes by the time we're done.
Oh my God.
Holy shit, Dylan! If I want to follow the show anywhere, where could I do that?
Oh my God. Follow? You want to follow us?
Yeah, like say
That's
on,
a dumb mistake. No, I'm playing.
no shit. Say like on Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Fun
I'm
Idiots
sorry,
Show.
X. Ugh.
Oh, sorry, X, at Fun Idiots Show. If you want to follow us on YouTube, Functional Idiots Productions. And obviously, if you want to do the good old send in an email, it's functionalidiotspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And what if you wanted to support us on Patreon, because you like those
Oh my
not
God.
until 4 Patreon podcasts that came up?
Yeah. That we've released. That we haven't done in.
Shut up! No,
months.
Details.
You can support us on Patreon. That'll be in the description below.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with our Spotify playlist if you want to listen to our bangers of the week.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I do want to say we have some stuff in the works for our old Patreon. So, you might want to. We'll update you along the way, which will probably be in 6 years. But anyways, we'll update you about it. So, but until next time, that's the wrong fucking thing.
Don't be dumb.
Don't be like me and don't be dumb.